Hi everybody, welcome to another video. This is the first video where I'll be talking about my process for renovating a used old dollhouse that I got online. And that first picture was what it looked like when I first got it. And for some reason I was obsessed with having a brick tower. And this is what this video is going to be about. So I started the video in real speed just to show you how painstakingly slow this process was. And then don't worry, I actually upped it to 8 times speed because the original video was about 2 hours long. So I had to edit it down quite a bit. So this is me getting started with adding some bricks on the wall. And I'm just using wood glue and going piece by piece. I calculated that I laid just under 3,000 bricks, so I think it was 2,900 or so bricks that I laid, and I double checked that by going back to see my purchase history, and I purchased 9 packs of 325 bricks. So it took me several months to get all of those on there, and I think it was worth it in the end. So jumping ahead quite a bit here, I made a lot of progress. It took several months to get to this point. Of course, I'm just doing it after work and at odd moments, usually late at night after everything else is done. So with a little bit of help as well from my boyfriend. And these were the windows that I originally thought I was going to use, which came with the house when I bought it. But unfortunately, a lot of them were already broken, and I couldn't find those exact same ones online. And there were also some that were just totally missing. So I ended up finding similar windows, and they actually fit even better than those. But I used them as a template for cutting the pieces to get the exact spaces around it filled in. One thing that I'm really glad I did was create color samples. And this first sample that I created was with just the regular acrylic paint that I had in my closet, which I figured I could use. But as it turns out, I'm really glad that I tested it first because it was way too shiny. So it didn't look like real brick. It looked super, super glossy. And so I ended up buying some other paints to end up using for the brick. What I ended up mixing here was a mixture of burnt umber from Folk Art and their terracotta red clay color. And I really liked it when I mixed it, and I liked it when I initially put it on. However, it ended up drying super, super dark. And I was just talking about how it was really good that I did a test swatch. Well, I did a test swatch with this, but I must have used a different mixture of I put way too much brown in this one. So it ended up looking basically just brown instead of really like a brick color. And I ended up having to do the whole thing over again. So here you can see the difference between the brown that I had put on, which was way too dark, and then me redoing it with another layer of the same paints, just less of that burnt umber in it. And the good thing was with either one, these are matte paints, so it was much better than the initial test that I had done with the acrylic paint that I had on hand. So here you can see how it dried, which is a much more brick red kind of color. And I really liked it as is, but I did feel that it definitely needed some variation for it to look a little bit more realistic. So I started to put a darker, more of that original color that I had tried in little random spots on a variety of bricks. And this actually really didn't take too long. It took me like, I don't know, half an hour, maybe something like that. And you can also see I added a little bit of a wash underneath where the windows are, and I was just kind of testing out how that looks. So I'm probably gonna have to redo that now after the grout is there, because it kind of took that effect away once I grouted it. I also tried to add other colors, like a much brighter version of this color. I tried to use a completely different color, like a cinnamon color, and whenever they dried, they just looked exactly the same as the color I had already put on. So there are actually like 5 or 6 different colors on there, and it's just really hard to tell, but at least the darker one creates some variation. This is what it looked like with the variation that I added, and now I'm grouting. So this was a whole thing. I had purchased the grout for the miniature bricks, and I think it's actually like a plaster mixture, and it's gray. And it's kind of expensive. It's like $8 or $9 for a very small bag, and I was definitely going to need multiple bags. And I was kind of looking into just using regular grout because I've done mosaics in the past, so I'm pretty comfortable grouting at this point. And I was like, is there really a big difference if I use regular grout versus this special miniature grout? And I don't really think there is. So I had a little bit of grout left in my closet, and I was like, I'm not sure if it's enough. And also it was bright white, and so actually looking at the video right now, it kind of looks bright white, but I mixed black into it, so it's gray. I think it just looks a little brighter on video. But so anyways, I looked it up and I figured I could just tint the grout with some acrylic paint, which I did. So I added black in there, mixed it up till it was gray. And grouting is always the scariest part of a project, because even though I've done it so many times with other things, I always doubt that it will ever come off. Like this part where you just completely smother months of work. But it did work out. But I should note also, I did spray a matte sealer on this before I grouted it. If I hadn't done that, I did actually do a tester, I think, without the spray sealer, and the paint would just come off. Especially with this grainy grout, it would just scrub it right off, and it's wet too. So the night before, I gave it a big dousing of spray matte sealer, and I left the windows open overnight for it to air out, and locked the doors to our bedroom. The first few minutes, it was a pretty intense smell, but it went away. I had the doors open, the windows open, and then it kind of moved through, and in the morning I couldn't smell it anymore. So I was very relieved once I wiped off that first big smothering of grout, and I was happier and happier as I was rinsing out my sponge and seeing what was underneath. And yeah, almost done here. And finally we have the most satisfying part, taking off the tape with all the paint and all the grout and getting a nice clean line. So this is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. And of course I've been working on other things and painting it blue and whatnot. Thanks for watching.